Well, hello, I'm Dr. Julia Royston of BK Royston Publishing, Royal Media and Publishing, and the coaching community, the Book Business Bosses, helping you get your message to the masses, turn your words into wealth, and be a book business boss. Now, to get in touch with me, go to talkwithroyston.com and let's have a conversation about your book, or visit juliaroyston.net for all things Julia Royston. So I am super excited always to bring you people, places, tools, information, and resources to inspire you. And over the top, excited to bring you authors that you may not know yet, but you're going to know. You're definitely going to know. So I have a young man here with me today, and I want him to introduce himself, tell us where he's from, and tell us where we can find him on social media. Because I know my audience, you're Googling while I'm talking, and you're wanting to find out more and to follow and support the authors and their books that I bring to your attention. So, Brian, introduce yourself. Tell us where you're from. Tell us where people can find you on social media and your website.
So good morning, everyone. My name is Brian Anderson, but I go by B. Anderson, and I was born and raised in Cincinnati, Ohio. That is where I reside today. You can find me on social media on Facebook. I am author B. Anderson. That is the same with YouTube. Instagram is author B. Anderson, all one word. And LinkedIn, it is Brian Anderson Jr. And I am also a featured artist on hitthemiccincy.com, which Hit the Mic Cincy is how we connected in the first place at the Black Book Fair last month.
Exactly. So, I've got to find out. So, first off, what inspired you to write? What made you first pick up the pen?
Oh, what made me first pick up the pen? Mm-hmm. I was 15. Actually, I was in high school, and really, I started off by just wanting to write to tell a girl that I liked her, but I just wanted to do it in a unique way. And I wanted to separate myself from everyone else. So I decided to be creative with how I wrote to her and tell her I liked her. And she was like, oh, wow, I didn't know that you were into poetry, and I didn't know that you were a poet. And I said, well, me either. So,
No, you should have said, oh, girl, I got it like that. Come on now.
See, that was back at the time. I was a little nervous and shy. So I had a hard time talking face to face. So I just decided to write it down, and, it just kind of went from there.
Exactly. So those of you that are watching us can maybe tell that Brian has an eye condition. Those of you who are listening via audio, you wouldn't know that because you wouldn't be able to see it. But if you're watching the replay on YouTube, you'll know that he has an eye condition. So how long have you had that?
So I've been visually impaired since birth. The scientific definition of my disability is called nystagmus, which basically is a rapid movement of the eyes, whether it's up and down or side to side or in a circle. And so, like I said, I was diagnosed with this from birth. Visual impairments run in my family, but it's kind of chaotic to where you don't know who's going to get it. It's just something to where you kind of just are surprised at birth.
Wow. Okay. So do you have brothers and sisters or anybody else who has the same condition?
No. My brother and sister on my father's side, which that's where it runs on, they are regularly sighted. My kids are also regularly sighted. So it's just me.
Oh, wow. How many babies you got?
Two.
Girl, boy.
Both, boy and a girl.
Boy and a girl. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. Well, congratulations to you, sir.
Thank you.
As they say, that hasn't stopped you living your best life. I know it. And living all your life. So how did you combat it when you were in school?
Well, I had an IEP, which typically people associate IEPs with learning, like a learning or a behavioral kind of thing.
Right.
But mine was just based off of my disability. So accommodations were made, whatever I needed, whether it was large print or whether I need to sit in the front of the classroom or
Right.
things like
Or
that. All
longer
are,
time, test time. When test time came
yes,
around, those children
yes,
with IEPs, and everybody's totally different. So, those of you
yes,
who don't understand what a IEP is, it's like a individualized education program, I think is what the
yes,
IEP. I've been
yes.
retired 3 years, but I haven't. I know what it is, but all the
Yeah,
acronyms, woo-wee. But
yes,
an IEP is individualized educational program, and honestly, quite honestly, I feel like every child needs an IEP. I really, every child learns differently. And no matter whether there is a disability or there's not, I believe every single child needs an IEP. And I'm going to be honest with you, as a teacher, I didn't write it down. I wasn't required because that's a federally required. There's meetings that have to happen, there's updates that have to happen. But in my mind, the 600 children that I taught the last school year, 500 or 600, I had a running IEP kind of in my mind of each and every one, because each one learns differently. It's just
absolutely.
that they don't always get accommodations. They don't always get, specific things because they don't quote unquote qualify. But honestly, I think we all qualify for IEP myself. It's not just, people with who it's normally given for those people who have diagnosed conditions, and those diagnosed conditions require it and demand it, and their parents have done that. So, just as a sidebar for parents, make sure that your child is getting all that they're supposed to have. Especially if they have an IEP, it is required by law. So it's not if they feel like it, if they want to, if the teacher does, if the principal follows up, you demand it. So that's just my own retired teacher plug, that if your child has an IEP, but that's what an IEP is. It's an individualized educational program, and it makes sure that students who need it get it, and it is demanded. It's required by law. So did you have any trouble with bullying or any of that?
From a young age, yes, sometimes when kids are ignorant and don't know and, just don't understand what it is that you go through, you deal with that, being made fun of, picked on, um, so yes, I dealt with my fair share of that. It was more at a younger age, but as I got older and, my peers around me matured, it, minimized.
I was gonna say they probably fought for you like mine did. As I got older, I
Definitely.
okay, so I always wore glasses. I wore glasses from 8 years old. So I was the
Hmm.
round glass, thick. Oh, that was before technology. So my glasses were
Yeah.
thick, Coca-Cola bottle thick. I mean,
Yeah.
when I first went to have my eyes checked, they were 200 by 200. You remember, supposed to have 20/20 vision. I said
Yeah.
200 by 200. Okay. So both
Yeah.
my eyes was bad. Woo-wee, both my eyes were bad. And so you get, fat, little fat girl with round glasses. So you got big eyes, big booty, big butt. Oh,
Yeah.
they were merciless. But as you get older and you get friends, they were like, I don't care what she looks like. You leave Julia
Hmm.
alone and don't mess with her and leave her alone,
Yeah.
because I'm coming for you. That's my
Oh,
friend, and I
definitely.
don't care who know, that whole thing. I was very appreciative because I didn't have a brother to fight for me. So I was the glasses nerdy little fat girl who was fun and cute, but you always got the mean girls around who are
Yeah.
not very nice to you. But yeah, as you get older and they mature, they be like, what it, after so long, people don't even see you that, probably after so long, your real friends is like, his eyes move, really? I didn't know that.
I
Oh, okay,
mean,
yeah, they do. They just ignore it. You don't even, when you love somebody like that, you don't care nothing about that. That is
yeah,
minimal.
I have people that tell me that they forget, after being around me for so long because I don't require, any major accommodations. Like I don't walk with a cane or,
Right,
I'm high functional,
right.
to where the point I try to do everything that everyone else does. So, people often forget.
Well, let me tell you, when I heard you spit on the mic a month or so ago, and
Uh-huh.
I didn't notice nothing about no eyes. They had to say, "Do you not know?" I was like, "He got a what?" I said, "He does." Oh, okay. I know he could put some words together, and I was snapping my fingers at the end. That's all I know. But the arts and being creative is just a gift from God. I love it. Everything about the creative process. I love it. When I was in school, I was not athletic at all. No, I was always the last one picked for the kickball game. They were
Hmm.
like, "Oh well, we'll take Julia." But you give me a
Hmm.
microphone and tell me to sing or tell me to do something musically with the creative arts. Oh, I could slay you. I could have you laying out on the floor because that was my arena. So I think we need to celebrate the things that we're good at and not get discouraged or upset when there are things that no, I just don't do that. Oh, you jump. Oh, you tumble. Oh, you play sports, and I'm in the bench. I'm in the stands going, "Go team, go team," because that ain't my area. Now, when it's my time
Yeah.
to take the mic,
Yeah.
okay, we're gonna be doing our thing. So I want you to tell us a little bit about your writing process. Do you write in the morning? Do you write in the evening? Do you write all day long, or are you inspired to write, or how does that work?
So as far as a writing process, I wouldn't even say I have one. I basically just write when I'm inspired. Last night I was, kind of feeling some type of way. I just decided to, when I would say this, when I do write, I no longer use the pen and the paper just because technology has come so far. I have an iPhone, so everything goes into my notes, the
Yeah.
notes app. And
Mhm.
so, and and it became that way because sometimes I'll be at work and I need to get a thought down. And hey, my phone is right in my pocket. I can pull it out, put that thought down, and keep going. There's been times when I've written in the shower. I've woke up in the middle of the night and wrote. I wrote early in the morning. So, I guess you can say I write all day. It's just, based on whenever I feel something is it takes me over and it's like I have to get this down. I can't even move on and continue my day until I get this thought down.
I agree. I'm the same exact way. And I have called my home. This was before the good apps on your phone. And I had a good phone. I would call my house phone and leave a voicemail message, or I would, I've written stuff down on napkins and towel papers. I'm like, wait a minute, we can't throw that away. Wait a minute, I need that,
Hmm.
because sometimes, and I really tell people that, especially with writing or writers workshops and things of that nature, is that you got to get it down while you get to get it down, because sometimes that mood, that setting, those words will not flow directly as they did then, in that exact moment. Okay, so tell me about your book.
Okay, so my first book, A Penny for My Thoughts, is basically just a compilation of poems that were written over, a long period of time. I was I had friends and family telling me, "Oh man, when I was at a young age, oh, you need to put together a book. You need to write a book." And I just wasn't at that point, but I would save everything I wrote. And so I just when I got to that point to where I felt like, okay, this is my time. God is telling me to go in this direction. I went back and put together what I felt was appropriate at the time because also I evolved over the years
Mm.
from when I wrote those pieces. So some of them I went back and I'm like, wow, no, I don't like that. I need to, you know, um, revise it and
Mhm.
do put add some more to it and things like that. So it was a compilation of pieces. It was actually fueled by my battle with depression. So I want everybody to know mental health is real.
Yeah.
And I know this is mental health awareness month. Mental health is very real. And not that every piece is surrounded, um, it's not directly tied to depression, but I was in a dark place when I wrote the majority of the book, minus maybe, two or three pieces. But everything was fueled by depression. And me deciding to be vulnerable really helped me put together the best work that I possibly could for that project.
Right, right. Wow. Well, so really speak a little bit more about that. Did you go to a therapist? What happened for you to actually come out of that dark place?
So I've often battled with deciding to see a therapist or not. My doctor would tell me, because I used to be on antidepressants in my early to mid 20s, and I didn't like the way they were making me feel. And so, I went to my doctor, and, I got weaned off and everything like that. It just wasn't for me. And he told me, you need to find an outlet if you're not willing to go talk to someone. And at the time, writing was something that I loved to do just because I was good at it, but it kind of took on the role of being my passion. It became my outlet. So whenever I was feeling something, I would just write about it, and it would help me come out of those dark places. And that's why I say, depression really fueled this, because yes, I was in a dark place, but also writing is therapeutic for me. And so, that's what helped me come out of that dark place, and really helped me be proud of what it was that I, put out there.
Excellent, excellent. Well, whatever works for you, because but I guess my biggest thing for anyone listening is that you get the help that you need, that you realize there's an issue, and if writing is it, because when I went through a divorce, it was therapy for me, and so that was extremely helpful for me, and was a great outlet for me. But everybody has to do what works for them. So, but I want you to, as I say, live your best life, as I often say, live your best life however you need to live it. So we're going to take a break, and we're going to be right back.
Yes.
Well, I'm Dr. Julia Royston, and we're back with author B. Anderson. And I'm super excited. So we've been talking about writing, we've been talking about poetry and all that good stuff. So he's going to spit a poem for us. And then we're going to talk about his upcoming book. Go right ahead.
Okay, thank you. So I picked this piece to, bring to you all because it is the first piece that I actually got on the mic and spit in front of people. It was my first one on stage. It doesn't need any further introduction. I think that this piece will speak for itself. The title of it is I Can't Pretend. So, and before I get started, as you all may know, since I am visually impaired, when I do read my pieces, I have my phone in my face. So, if you want to watch the screen, you can, or you can close your eyes and just listen to the words that I speak. So as I said, this piece is called I Can't Pretend. I've spent years trying to be strong, but right now I can't pretend. Sometimes I wish God took one look in my eyes and decided to modify and rescind. I know God don't make mistakes, but once upon a time, suicidal thoughts had me thinking I'd never see his gates. I can still hear the echoes of the voices back when I was made fun of. It's embarrassing being the son of a man who was naturally good in sports, practicing just to be half as good, just to sign up for a rec team and end up not getting any time on the basketball court. Family loved to tease about me being short. I'm not discouraged because I'm average height. It just gives more individuals at eye level more of an opportunity to key in on my lack of sight. Eyes rapidly moving left and right, tears escaping them as I write. Bullies wanted to fight just because my eyes made me an easy target. Forever brokenhearted because my biggest crush crushed me when she said I'd be the cutest boy in school if I weren't cross-eyed. Confidence discarded. Mama was there to pick me up when it first started. She told me I can do anything I put my mind to, but I can't put myself in position to drive. No matter how much joy and happiness I store inside, I'll never be able to shout, "Hey kids, let's go for a ride." It sucks when you feel like you're not good enough and at any second you could erupt. I wrote a penny for my thoughts, but I clearly didn't know my worth. Not knowing what it's like to have decent vision feels like I've been trapped in a prison since birth. I didn't write this to have the best rhyme scheme, metaphor, or simile. I wrote it because I'm tired of receiving penalties for being a slave mentally.
Mm. Okay, put the snaps up, put the snaps up, snaps up. So that's a real insight look into your world, into your life. And I'm quite sure we may not all identify visually for being visually impaired, but I'm quite sure there is somebody out there who feels the same way about some part of their life of not being selected or not being chosen, or feeling like you're left out of one way, shape, or form. But it's a beautiful thing. I mean, you can still, I'm with your mama, you can still do anything you put your mind to. You may have to do it a little bit differently. You may have to adjust the way it's done, but we all have had to make adjustments in our lives for one thing, shape, or form or another. So, but you live your best life, Mr. Brian Anderson. Super proud of you. So tell me about your
Thank
book,
you.
your upcoming book.
So it's titled Vision Over Sight, A Legally Blind Poet's Truth. And basically, as you heard from this piece, that piece basically summarized what the entire book is about. So, it talks about, being made fun of, and, having a crush, and being crushed when, she used that phrase that I dislike so much of being cross-eyed, because to me, it's a derogatory term. And in this book, I, um, it, in my opinion, it's on the same level as the N word for me, just because I feel that strongly about that. Um, I talk about, my relationships with my parents, with my mom, my dad, things like that. And so I touch on all of these different things. But at the end of the day, I called this book Vision Over Sight because vision is internal. It's from within. I don't look at vision as being what you see, but you know, from your inside. I look at sight as being a mere physical trait. And this was my most vulnerable project, is what I'm most proud of. A Penny for My Thoughts was good, but I felt like I didn't want that to be the lasting impression of me. I wanted people to be able to get to know me better. I also wanted to appeal to that kid that's growing up like me, who didn't have the example of someone who, who is visually impaired. I grew up in, even though, my mom told me, yeah, you could do anything you put your mind to. That was huge for me at a young age. But as I started to grow, become a teenager, and into my adult years, it, kind of wavered a little bit, because it's like, okay, you're telling me this because you love me. You're telling me this from a sighted point of view, but I don't have anyone that looks like me, who's been through what I've been through, that is out here living their best life, who's living their dream, who's achieving goals and doing things like that. So I wanted to be that person for every kid that's growing up, for everyone who may be my age or older, who lacks confidence, who, just needs that inspiration. I wanted this book, this project, to be an empowerment for all people, not only people who are blind or visually impaired, but all people. Because as you stated before, take visual impairment out and put something else in, whether it's deaf, or, whether it's Asperger's or ADHD, it could be anything. But, despite the visual impairment, or the disability or the trauma, I just wanted to be that shining example.
Excellent, excellent. So I was at a recent conference, and based on statistics, they said that 40,000 children in across the country via COVID lost their parents over COVID. So therefore, you have two parents, but there is some other child who is going to be equally as devastated. They might be able to see, but they have lost either a parent or both parents to COVID.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, 40,000, that's a lot of young people. That's a lot of homes impacted and affected by the loss of loss. So therefore, whether you have a physical impairment or you're in foster care, because I know them babies feel devastated too as well, that nobody wants me, nobody wants to adopt me. There's always an issue. And as they say, they have perfect sight, but they still have a hopeless outlook, because they may have 20/20 vision, but their vision for their life is devastated and poverty stricken, or just depressive because of the state of their life. So it's an interesting thing. It's something to really think about and really to consider, that um, all of us have something that we're battling. All of us have something that we're working through. And whether it's a physical ailment, a mental ailment, or just an environmental, societal ailment, there's something that we're struggling with right at this moment. So, but thank you so much, sir, for being my guest today. I look forward to the many more books. What's coming up for when's the next event for Spitting Poetry? Is it going to be in person or virtually?
So we took a couple months off with Hit the Mic Cincy. We took a couple months off just because of the COVID variant and kind of wanted to let that die down. Our next scheduled event is December the 3rd.
Okay.
And it's going to be at Oasis of Grace, the same place that the Black Book Fair was at.
Okay.
And it's going to be an open mic and a shopping extravaganza. So anyone out there who is in the Cincinnati, Ohio area.
Or that can get there. Yeah, we can get there on a
Yes.
scooter, bike, train,
Yes.
plane, automobile. Get
Come
there.
out and join us.
I know. Well, be sure and follow author B. Anderson, because I know he'll be posting all the updates and all that good stuff of when the flyer is out and available, probably at least by the 1st of November of
Oh, so it's out.
2021. It's out. Okay, good.
Yes.
But be sure and follow author B. Anderson on Facebook, and find him on all social media and all that good stuff. Purchase his book as well. Do you have a website for your book, or do you purchase
So
it
it's on Amazon.
Amazon.com? Find author B. Anderson. You all be blessed. I'm Dr. Julia Royston. Thank you again, author B. Anderson, for being my guest. We'll be back next time with more. Have a great day.